Hello there everybody, in this video I'm reviewing the BASN Mix PD Hybrid Planar Driver plus Dynamic Driver. Let's get it. What's cracking audio fans, it's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So the Mix PD, a bit of an interesting driver combo there. One planar driver and one dynamic driver. The dynamic driver is in charge of the bass. The planar driver handles the mid-range and the treble. And this guy is coming in at a mean $79. So we're well into that entry level, well under that $100 mark. And this is what the box looks like. And I just want to show you inside because look at this case. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I reckon NASA gives their astronauts IEM cases like that. Check it out. Oh, I like it. It's awesome. Now inside of here you do get quite a few different, alright, let's have a look. You get a few different sets of ear tips. You get a 3.5 to 6.35 millimeter adapter. You get a little cleaning tool. So yeah, once again, just like last time, BASN has been fairly generous with the accessories. But yeah, I had to show you that case. I think it's pretty wicked. Right, let's bring in the IEMs. This is what they look like. They do look pretty sweet, I reckon. That is an aluminium alloy faceplate you're seeing there. I like those horizontal lines. It's quite stylish with the white logo, brand logo there. Pretty cool. But you know what's really cool about these shells is the width of them. Check that out. So these sit really flush and low profile in your ears. So these are great for if you want to lay down in the bed or wherever on the sofa with IEMs. These are really good because they don't stick out of your ears. And on the underside or inner side, as you can see there, we've got nice clear acrylic so you can see the wiring and the drivers inside. So pretty cool. I'm quite impressed with the shells. They're very comfortable. However, I will say that with this IEM, it's very fit and tip dependent. You really need to get a good fit. You need to get a good seal, otherwise you're going to have a very thin sound. But with the proper fit, proper seal and all that stuff, yeah, the sound sort of comes to life. So let's get right into that. Oh, I just realized Australia's upside down. We can't be having that. We can't be having that. There we go. Oh, and wait, before we get into the sound, I just want to talk about the cable for a second. There it is there. It's a silver-plated copper cable. It's pretty good quality. It handles well. It doesn't have microphonics, but due to the pre-formed ear hooks and the sort of the thinness of the cable above the Y splitter, it does like to get tangled up quite a bit. But apart from that, yeah, it's a pretty good cable. So with an impedance of 31 ohms and sensitivity of 106 dB, the Mix PD is nice and easy to drive. You don't have to worry. It's not one of those KZ planars that requires a tractor engine to drive your amplifier. You can plug these straight into a phone or a little dongle, whatever you please, and you'll be fine. Now, basically, the Mix PD has a neutral tone with an elevated bass. It's somewhere between serious and fun in nature. The mids and the treble, they're kind of uncolored and businesslike, while the bass has a more playful aspect. So let's throw up the graph here and oh, hello, that looks a little bit familiar. When I measured these, I thought, I've seen that before. I've seen the right half of this graph before, and I thought, Moondrop Aria, sure enough, pulled it out and bam, it's basically the Aria with a bass boost. But it doesn't exactly sound quite like that. I mean, I've said this before, if you change one of the fundamental frequencies, the whole sound signature is affected. So don't be thinking this is Aria with more bass. It doesn't quite come off like that. Now, the bass is delivered, as I said, by the dynamic driver, and the bass has classic dynamic driver characteristics like authority and the ability to physically move air. Now, it's a powerful bass, but it's not overdone and it's not dominant in the mix. It does have a powerful sub-bass response and it can deliver a palpable rumble, but it doesn't really sacrifice clarity in the mid-range and the treble by doing so. So it's not really a destructive bass. It's pretty good quality. It's nice and tight and all that stuff, but it is boosted and it does, I mean, the mids and the treble are somewhat drawn back in relativity to the bass. So let's move on to the mid-range now. Now, the mid-range is where the Mix PD starts to take on a more serious approach. Now, I wouldn't call the mids here analytical due to the underlying warmth from that bass, but they are uncolored, the mids that is, and they have a neutral note weight. Remember, it's the planar driver that's in charge of the mids and the treble. So in this case, the mids and the treble have a different tone compared to the bass. Female vocals are given preference courtesy of that boosted upper mid-range, and that also gives the overall sound clarity and presence. In addition, the upper mids plateau there gives definition to guitars, pianos and snares. Nevertheless though, the mid-range appears a little bit withdrawn. It lacks intimacy and depth, as if you were sort of situated, in terms of a concert, you were situated at a distance from the front of the stage. So the mid-range it's not really recessed in context in relative to the bass and the treble. It's just that the stage positioning of the mid-range is rather forward, so it's like you're further away from it, and that just lacks a little bit of intimacy and engagement. At least for me it does. But apart from that, it's nice and clean. There's no congestion. Pretty good spacing there, but yeah, just not the most engaging sound. Now let's move on to the treble, and I'd say the high frequencies are fairly mellow. They're easy on the ears, but they do sound rather dry. I mean, they're inoffensive. They're not sibilant or harsh, but they don't have any sparkle either. They don't have any sort of shimmering brilliance to them. Now, whether that is a result of the planar driver or just the tuning, I'm not entirely sure. But the treble is, you don't really pay that much attention to it. It's not in your face. Like I said, it's inoffensive. But at the same time, it doesn't really do anything special. The detail retrieval is pretty good. Remember, planar driver, naturally you got good detail retrieval, excellent transient speed, all those kinds of things. So having said that, let's move on to the technicalities and technical performance. In terms of soundstage, the stage is reasonably wide. It doesn't have a whole lot of depth though. It's fairly two-dimensional, which is common for planar drivers. You do have a little bit of depth from the bass, but it doesn't really give you that sort of a real 3D holographic experience. It's not terrible. There's definitely nothing to be angry about in terms of the soundstage, especially when, you know, in the context of the price. It is a $79 IEM after all. So really, the instrument separation is quite good. The imaging is average. I'd say it's on par for this price. But overall, technical performance is not too bad. It's not great. It's not terrible. And so to sum up, the BASN Mix PD, look, I want to love it, but at the end of the day, I just kind of like it. It does a lot of things well. The shells are brilliant. The bass is good, but I really want a little bit more forwardness and I want the mid-range to be a little bit more upfront. Now, I don't traditionally like a really mid-centric IEM. It gets to be a little bit annoying to me. But in this case, I do want those mids to be a little bit closer to the listener. Overall though, really, for $79, considering the build, the accessories, and the sound, the audio quality, these are a pretty good IEM. They're just not going to be, you know, in the top 3 sub 100, but if you're interested in a, you know, kind of unique driver configuration, if you want something that's great for laying down with, and they do look slick as well, I mean, check them out, they do look good, then yeah, they're worth, yeah, I don't think you'd be disappointed if you bought these. And having said that, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. If you are new here and you want to see more content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.